Within Kakadu itself, as a national park, there is 683,000 hectares of wetlands, and it's a pretty exact figure. So it's a pretty awesome spot. We do get hard-hooved animals as well: buffalo, pigs, horses. On occasions, agile wallabies can be seen, but at the moment, with the water levels where they are, a little scarcer at this stage. But they can come down to where the water source is here. On to our right, turning up in large numbers, one of our migratory birds. Now they will migrate from wetlands around Australia, particularly along the east coast, aiming for really shallow sections, and most of the day, this is where you'll find whistling ducks. Anyone from France today? Yeah, so you're looking at the Le Grand Crocodile. It's about 4 metres. Well, interesting. I couldn't tell you exactly. It'll be an uneducated guess, because I'd have to actually kill this animal to get an exact figure. But we estimate it could be somewhere between 30 and as much as 35 years old. The only way to tell for sure is to take a sample of its bones. And through the bones, like dating a tree, you get you'll take the growth rings to give you an accurate age. There you go. I'll see if I can just sort of ease in a little bit closer for you. 1.4 metres tall and have a wingspan of around 2.5 metres when in flight. Huge thing. Australia's only true stork as well. This one is a male, and the easiest way to distinguish male from female is the colour of its eye. See how they're both black? Females will have a distinct yellow ring around their eye, almost fluorescent in colour.
What is this one?
Very fibrous bark, crushed down with leaves. Quite a lengthy process in how they do that, but it's ground down to a pulp, placed in small dilly bags. Now this actually works effectively in small pockets of water, usually smaller billabongs and waterways. Also found here in the top end, and some of the suggestions as to where it may have arrived. Macassans, thousands of years ago, having may have potentially had food exchanges with local Benin clans of the time. From the coastlines of Indonesia, here. Look at her neck, it is a female. There's a little kink, and it's what they call a hinge vertebra. It just gives the bird the ability to actually thrust its head forward in order to strike. Then it'll come up, a fish stuck on the end of its bill, and it's actually got to flip it in order to swallow. It's suggested that there's around 5 saltwater crocodiles for every square kilometre of national park. So somewhere up to about 100,000. Nearly double that across northern Australia. Jabiru, airborne, above your heads. Going from right to left. Huge wingspan. Kakadu was actually a mispronunciation of another word, Gagaju.
We're still going to like reinvent yourself after.
It's my pleasure this morning to introduce you to, as I mentioned last night, to senior elders on the Kakadu Board of Management and traditional owners for Kakadu National Park, and in this area in particular I have Mr. Alfred Nyangle, who is the senior from the Manilagar clan, and also Mr. Michael Bungalang, who is a senior from the Morawan clan. This morning what we're going to do is take you up through both the Rainbow Serpent Gallery and also the main gallery here. Just wait to get everybody maybe a bit closer. Yeah, that's the problem. And I thought so.
Welcome to the Rainbow Serpent Gallery. My name's Sarah and I'm here on behalf of the traditional owners and parks. And the talk that I normally give to people here is about the creation era, and the rainbow serpent is one of the creation ancestors, and kinship and how the creation, the rainbow serpent relates to this concept of kinship. So the rainbow serpent, you can imagine a landscape that is flat, featureless. The rainbow serpent moved through the country, and as she moved through country, she created the landscape. So she created the rocks, rivers, rock holes, floodplains, all the features of the landscape. There's another creation ancestor as well, Waramurungundi. Michael, I don't know if I say this right.
Waramurungundi,
yeah. The Earth Mother.
The Earth Mother, yeah.
The Earth Mother. And she came up out of the ocean.
She came from the ocean.
From the north. She brought with her dilly bags. And in her dilly bags she carried gifts. She brought a digging stick. And as she moved through the country with her digging stick, she made freshwater springs. And she also brought her spirit children. And her spirit children became the first people. So as she moved through the country, she placed her spirit children on land, on country. And she gave these first people language, culture, kinship, and all the laws to live by.
Okay, so as Brad was saying, over millions and million years of change, scientists believe that we are the oldest landform in the world. So many changes have happened in Australia, and especially up through this way. Now, the sandstone you'll find through here, before Marini, Carmichael, Charles, mudstone deposit, and also limestone. It has been laid, a lot of it, but over many years of change, millions of years of change. Now, if you can imagine the area we're in right now, was the sea floor millions of years ago, reaching up to the escarpment, and as the seas receded, that sand that was the sea bottom eventually hardened, okay? They become fossilised. And then over time, with those tectonic discs moving, our continents collided, causing an uplifting and a folding effect, pushing of areas not only here but all around the world, all around Australia, up out of the ground, twisting and turning and buckling. Now, a lot of the areas also has been because of the height of these mountain ranges. Once upon a time, because of the height, there are actually glaciers sitting on the top. So very similar, if you've been to Central Australia, okay, it's a very similar formation of land, okay?
but over different times. So those glaciers on these areas as well have moved down, flow to the bottom, settled in depressions in the Earth's crust, and then hardened over time, layer upon layer. And then they've been pushed up, twisted, turned and buckled and pushed out of the ground. And that's how your formations of majority of areas around Australia, if you know your geology. So millions and millions of years of change. And the reason we know areas have been settled by sea is by the life that they find. You find fossils of shells, you know, trilobites and brachiopods, also ancient underwater sea life, proving once upon a time this was an area of the sea bottom. Now the sandstone through this area plays a very, very important part to the art here. Now the reason it's been painted by ochre, and ochre is a clay. Through a chemical reaction through the oxygen comes up through the ground. You'll find majority of ochre mainly up through the central areas of Australia because we have ochre pits. Now the many colours of ochre isn't so common up here. You'll get your black colours, your reds, yellow, the white up through here as well, but not as common through the centre. A lot of ochre was used for trading as well. So the coastal Aboriginals would trade with the inland Aboriginals to get a lot of their paint. So it's like a clay mixed with water, it's formed as a paint. Now not only would they paint with ochre, quite often if ochre wasn't available, they'd use blood, okay? And you'll find that still in some of the rocks here. Now, going back to the importance of it, you've got your paint, you mix it with water, and then you paint onto the rock face. Now because of being sandstone here, it eventually absorbs into the rock, layer upon layer, because every time they would come to these places during the monsoon season, they would paint over, okay, over and over. You'll find it's been layer upon layer upon layer, because they've been coming here for thousands and thousands of years, guys. There's evidence. Archaeologists and geologists have a field day here. They love this place. There's so much history here for them, okay. Now by carbon dating on the rock, we can figure out how long the oak has been there, because as I said, it's absorbed into the rock, and so they can find how old the art is. And as Brad was saying, you're going to be visiting art here today, which is, you know, thousands of years old, and it's purely due by the carbon dating that we've done. So a lot of history here, a lot of changes in the landscape, and lots and lots of culture here for the Aboriginal people.